Being Jewish in England, shot one, take one. Alright, please state your name.
My name's Sammy Hoffman.
Sophie Conway.
My name is Brett Bernstein.
Hi, I'm Elliot, and I was born in France, and 10 years ago I moved here in England.
How does your Jewish identity work into your everyday life?
So I grew up in a Jewish school, like all my life, everything. Went to a uni that has a lot of Jews. So to me, it's, before I came to uni, I didn't really think about it because everyone around me was the same. But since coming to uni, it's just an extra thing that I think about, and it kind of, like, I feel like there's a part of me that's different to everyone else.
I feel like growing up, I never really felt connected with it because the area and the bubble I sort of grew up around felt very different to how I felt. So I feel like coming to uni's made me connect with it a lot more because, you know, I made new friends and everything and became really the only Jew that I knew.
When I come back home, or when I come back home and talk to my family, or there's little things every day, which I guess little rituals that link back to my Judaism.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher qadashanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu achanu shel Shabbat.
So why do you guys think, like, doing Shabbat dinners, inspired by this one, why do you think it's important?
I mean,
Community.
tradition.
I'd say like family as well.
I think it's more about values, or to me at least, than it is than praying or stuff like that.
I just think, like, I feel like it brings you back to your culture, because, I mean, once you leave your house, you kind of have to leave your culture behind in a lot of cases. But then when you have, like, Shabbat dinners like this, like, it brings all the culture back, and
Feels like home.
yeah, exactly. Like, no matter, like, any Shabbat dinner table, just,
There's a wall.
there's definitely a warmth about it.
Mm-hmm.
With the current war in Israel, I think anyone can see that there is growing amounts of anti-Semitism, like in major cities and here as well. Like, for even like small things, like my last name is Bernstein, which is a common Jewish last name. So on apps like Uber, for example, I've had to change my last name because I don't want to be seen as a target, and I don't want to be a target of any hate. Do you feel safe as a Jew in England?
Yes and no.
I'd say so.
Currently, not really.
So right now, I feel safe, but at the same time, I think that's because I want to feel safe.
Obviously, with everything going on in the world right now, I mean, it's awful and it's horrendous, and I feel like, you know, the fact that I have to worry about walking out of the house thinking, do I look Jewish? Do I look, you know, Israeli or something? It's a scary thing.
I think it's not something I really advertise, but I've never been personally threatened. So, like, yeah, to an extent that I'd feel unsafe.
The other night I was out at a club and I was wearing my necklace which has a high on it, and I actually bumped into some other people that turned out to be Jewish, and one of them asked me, oh, why are you wearing your necklace out, are you not scared? And at that point I kind of realised maybe it's not that safe for me to be wearing it, because there are people out who want to target Jews or think that they're not like humans per se, or not, like, don't really have as many rights and stuff.
I'm not really a religious person, but I am very firmly Jewish, and I will always identify that way and be proud of that fact, because, you know, I mean, my ancestors were forced out of, you know, everywhere for that fact, and I feel being proud of that just every day, the fact that I'm still here and I can proudly say I am Jewish, that makes me happy.
The Jewish people go back a long way, right? All the way from Abraham, the first Jew. And each and every one of us are a link in that chain. An unbroken chain which goes back generation after generation. And I see this as a tremendous privilege, but with every privilege comes a responsibility. And I want to ensure that not only do I feel connected and feel observant and actually maintain my Judaism, something which is personal to me, something which is my privilege that I've been born with, but I also want to make sure this passes through to future generations, because we have a responsibility to do that, just as our ancestors handed it over to us. And it's interesting because when you think about it, what's the best way to hand it through to the next generation is by making it fun, by making it exciting. Something which you want to do, you do again and again. And something which you enjoy, your children and your grandchildren are going to want to do the same thing. If you see your Judaism as a bore, as something which is onerous and difficult, nobody's going to want to do it. In days gone by, there used to be a Yiddish saying that used to be, is schwer zu sein a Yid. It's difficult to be a Jew. And actually, in Chabad, we say, actually, it's not difficult. It's an honor. It's wonderful to be a Jew. We don't look at it as something difficult, but rather, yeah, there are parts that are difficult. There's parts of life that are difficult and everything. But we don't focus on that. We focus on the parts which are, on the fact that it's exciting. It's invigorating. It's our life.